For those of us who have been clamoring for a Game of Thrones spinoff that revolved around characters that took place in the actual Game of Thrones, we might actually be getting that. According to the Hollywood Reporter, Game of Thrones Jon Snow sequel series in development at HBO. I'm just going to read a little bit of this and then I'll give my take on what I think this means for Game of Thrones going forward, what this might mean for House of the Dragon, and what this just means for any other George R. Martin productions in the future. All right, let's get into it. Kit Harington is attached to reprise his fan favorite role in the first potential Thrones project to take place after the events in the original series. You know nothing about HBO's post Game of Thrones plans. The network has entered into early development on its first sequel to its blockbuster fantasy drama, a live action spin off series centered on the fan favorite character Jon Snow, the Hollywood Reporter has learned. Kit Harington is attached to reprise the role should a series move forward. The actor was twice nominated for an Emmy for his portrayal of an action hero who struggles to uphold his family's noble values in a brutal world, which he absolutely failed at the very end. So this would be a nice redemption story for him to a certain extent. In Thrones' eighth and final season, Jon Snow discovered his true name was Aegon Targaryen, a potential heir to the Iron Throne. In the series finale, he was exiled from Westeros and journeyed north of the Wall with the wildlings to leave his old life behind. Since completing his, well, we already know what he's already done when it comes to Marvel's Eternals. The development signals an intriguing new direction in HBO's handling of author George R. R. Martin's fantasy universe, a move not unlike Disney Plus's management of its Star Wars and Marvel brands, where the streamer has found success launching character focused sequel series such as WandaVision, starring Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Perhaps most boldly from a creative standpoint, the project would upend Throne's final season as the last word on the fates of the surviving characters in HBO's most popular and Emmy winning series of all time. In theory, the project could open the door for other surviving characters from the Thrones universe to reappear, such as Arya Stark, Sansa Stark, and Brienne of Tarth. You know what? This is my take on it. Uh, I think HBO believes that House of the Dragon is going to do great, and I do believe it will. I just don't think that they truly believe that it's going to do as great as what Game of Thrones did, and that might spell doom for or at least problems for that series as a whole. Simply because you take a character like Jon Snow. He's had books that he's in the books, and of course he's in the series. So you have a large group of fans, whether they be book readers or fans of the show, that really love this character. They know this character from beginning to end, or at least what we knew as his end. And so it's not that shocking to me to think that maybe a Kit Harington, Jon Snow series would actually probably just do a lot better than House of the Dragon, which doesn't really have characters that we know and love quite as much as what we've got with anything that is a Song of Ice and Fire related story. So I mean, I think this would actually be a really good. I think this would be a really interesting show. I think it would be a show that could give him a redemption arc. Now, I know a lot of people, and I'm not one, that felt like, he did Daenerys wrong in the very end. Um, I think you should blame showrunners for that particular act. If you didn't like the way Daenerys had died, and you didn't feel like she was deserving of it, and you felt like everything that she did was, understandable, that's truly up to you. I personally don't fall into that category. I think she was turning into a villain, and I thought she got her just comeuppance. That's just personally my opinion on that. And got a lot of hate mail from saying such things, but that's just my personal opinion on it. far as Jon Snow, I felt like the last season he was really done wrong. He really took a back seat to Daenerys Targaryen. I think maybe we we need more of an ending for him to find out what happened more uh, to this character. And I feel like you can do it without even bringing, Sansa or Arya or any of those into the mix. I don't feel like you have to. I feel like it leaves the door open where you can, which is interesting in itself. But I feel like if you wanted to do just a standalone on him going with the wildlings, I feel like you could just have a story centered around that. And I feel like, you could talk about the others. I feel like you could maybe have a story that focuses around that aspect of it without actually just having, a White Walker's um, storyline by itself, and instead have a character or like Jon Snow, maybe finding the truth about them, which would be an interesting take on it. It would just also just be interesting to see his life beyond the wall. I would be up for this. I am really hoping that this actually does happen. It's still in early development, but it sounds like maybe Kit Harrington would be excited to be a part of this. I don't really think he has that much of a future in the Eternals. I feel like it was a terrible movie, and if they make a sequel, then I feel like if I was Kit Harrington and I wanted to make big bucks and I wanted to turn into a really gigantic behemoth of a movie star, I would go down the Jon Snow Game of Thrones sequel path more than I would the Marvel Eternals path. Because let's face it, Marvel is in decline. Some could say maybe Game of Thrones is as well, but I feel like, House of the Dragon might renew it, might renew the excitement behind what was left off in the last season of Game of Thrones, and might be a path for, this series to actually take place. I don't believe there's going to be anything serious about it until they know just how good House of the Dragon does. I feel like that's going to be their beginning and ending of whether or not these projects like this Jon Snow sequel series goes forward. And rightfully so. If I was HBO, I would not do that. I don't necessarily think that they're going down the Marvel path when it comes to these individual character shows. I don't believe that we'll be seeing an Arya show. I don't believe we'll be seeing a Sansa show. I think at the end of the day, I think we'll be seeing maybe, this Jon Snow show, and I think that'll be it for really the sequel. And but you know what? I could be completely and totally wrong about that. It would be interesting if they did go down that route. I just don't see that happening. Though, hey, HBO is wanting to do, a money grab when it comes to this, and wouldn't shock me. I feel like Marvel's done it kind of wrong by doing these individual series, and I don't think they've lived up to the Marvel movie standards in a lot of different ways. And one could even say that, hey, Game of Thrones was, this cultural phenomenon for its time. You can't expect House of the Dragons to live up to it, but I feel like if you had any chance of maybe getting that same magic back, it would be a Jon Snow sequel series more than a House of the Dragon series. That's just my personal take on it. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Would you want to see a Jon Snow sequel series? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.